golfing, gators, dolphins, days at the beach, history, and more. Today, we're hitting the open road for a trip to Florida's historic coast.
And look out to your right, this is the first of two cemeteries.
Any visit to St. Augustine, Florida should include some time exploring the nation's oldest, continually occupied city. On this very spot, more than 500 years ago, in 1513, Ponce de Leon came ashore and discovered Florida. The 500 years since have included discoveries by Pedro Menendez, pirates, the Fountain of Youth, Henry Flagler, the Castillo de San Marcos, Florida's first lighthouse, and much, much more.
A lot of people can come to St. Augustine and drive around and see things, but to know that you're actually touching the walls of the fort that were built back in 1672, and that they're still standing and that you can actually touch the history. I think people get more of a connection when they can actually physically see it, learn about it, touch it, and be involved in it.
Trolleys offer a picturesque and easy way to soak in a lot of St. Augustine's roots, but take Smokey's advice and take a few days to see it all.
Lucky number 10 is made out of what's called coquina.
Another option is a boat ride. Florida's water tours give guests a different vantage point of some of St. Augustine's top spots, but it also offers a glimpse into other offerings from this unique area.
We're giving you all of our wealth of knowledge, everything I could spew out to you between from dolphin, birds, the waterways, plants, mangroves, everything like that here in our city. So very educational. You're going to leave here knowing a lot more than what you came on board with.
While the area's fascinating history grabs most of the headlines, there's plenty to see and do once your exploration into the city's past is done. Jadek and his brother Captain Mike navigate guests to a front row seat to some of St. Augustine's bottlenose dolphin. At nearby Marineland, jump out of the front seat and into the water with them.
Bottlenose dolphins are definitely kind of our big draw for people to come in and meet our animals here.
This oceanfront playground has entertained and educated guests for more than 80 years. It opened as a place to make movies.
And one of the things that they knew was missing in Hollywood at that point was the ability to get underwater footage for films. And so they had this idea that if they could bring the sea ashore by building a big above ground but underwater tank and bringing all different animals from the ocean ashore, then they could create a film studio where you could film underwater through porthole windows.
But the owners quickly realized that the local community had such an interest in the animals housed there that they opened it to the general public. Movies and shows have been filmed at Marineland, but today it offers more of an opportunity to do this. Have some fun with dolphins while learning more about these amazing creatures and their habits.
Those large kind of pods and social groups of dolphins that you see out there, they naturally separate themselves out into male and female groups and everything. So if you see some larger groups of dolphins, those are most likely going to be the females, and they might have some young males that they might still be nursing during that time. But once the male ends up getting a little bit older, they end up splitting off and they form what we call kind of a bachelor pod.
And dolphin are far from the only wildlife you might spot in the area.
We do have here what's called a NER in St. Augustine. It's called a Natural Estuary Research Reserve. It is federally protected. It's a little over 70,000 acres here in our surrounding area of estuaries, rivers, marshes.
The Guantanamo Matanzas Research Reserve is one of only 29 in the country. The reserve serves as a protector for plants and animals while offering guests recreation opportunities, everything from kayaking to shelling to fishing. Because the reserve extends to several miles of coastline, guests can spend the afternoon soaking up the sun on virtually untouched, uninhabited beaches. Now, while the thought of a near private beach might be at the top of most parents' wish lists, the kids might be looking for a little more activity. Problem solved. The Embassy Suites Resort recently opened, offering guests an amazing locale to take a dip in the water. It joins a growing list of beachside resorts, hotels, campgrounds, bed and breakfasts, and historic inns. Each presents a different way to experience a trip to the area.
The beaches are gorgeous. My little girl's really excited about playing in the water. We've had a really good time, just cruising around, looking at all the different buildings, and it's just really different from back home.
Kick back, enjoy the fire pits, and get some rest. This trip to Florida's historic coast is not over. Not with Ponte Vedra Beach just up the street. It's home to the ultimate golfer's getaway.
We get people from all over the world that come. Some have bucket lists where they want to play here.
Jones is talking about TPC Sawgrass and its famous stadium course, home to the Players' Championship golf tournament.
We are open to the public, and we're very proud of that. So we have handicappers from 0 all the way up to 90. So anyone's allowed to play here, and we encourage that too. Families, buddy trips, anyone that can come out and play, more than welcome to.
The best advice: plan ahead. Most championship courses like this are not open to the public, so it can get busy. Here's some more advice: bring some golf balls. The stadium course is home to one of the most famous holes in all of golf, the 17th Island Green.
Obviously, the entire course designed by Pete Dye. It's a funny story about hole number 17. Alice, his wife, actually was the one that actually came up with the idea to have that hole. Pete had designed all 18 holes. He came to this area right here. You'll see the water in the background right over there. Actually, funny enough, Alice was the one that decided to fill it in with water and kind of create that island green around it. So Pete Dye always says he designed one of the most famous golf courses, and Alice is the one that gets all the credit for that famous hole.
I don't know how to describe it other than you need to come and see it in person. It's extraordinarily diabolical, up to and including the fact that over the course of a year, as you know, the hole is pretty short. It's only 135 yards generally, but we take close to 100,000 golf balls out of the pond in the course of a year. So.
Forget fishing your ball out of the water. There's no time for that. Instead, head to the PGA Tour's Performance Center on site. Utilizing the latest in technology combined with expert teaching, they'll put you on lower scores in no time.
We do fitness, club fitting, full swing, short game, putting. So whatever the golfer kind of needs, we have someone here who can take care of them in that regard. So we basically just try to make people better.
Once a day on the course has worn you out, head to another Ponte Vedra Beach gym.
Welcome to the Ponte Vedra Inn and Club.
The Ponte Vedra Inn and Club has welcomed guests for more than 90 years.
We pride ourselves on the traditions, but also pride ourselves on staying current and relevant and being a destination that's appealing to modern families.
Between the pool, spa, tennis, and beaches with room to play, it's no surprise that it's a five-diamond resort for 2019. But there's another reason it's been a five-diamond resort for the last 17 years. That's the staff.
Many of our employees have worked here for 25, 30 years or so. And with that comes great recognition and great attention to detail and great service. We want our guests to feel like they are members of the club when they're here at Ponte Vedra Inn and Club.
Florida's historic coast, a trip to St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra Beach. It's truly a vacation unlike any other. For Access Travel, I'm Nelson Hicks.